What's happening, people? Welcome to Mother Effin' Uninfluenced. Show number 2 of 2022.
Yep. Episode number 57.
Nope, episode 57. What the fuck's wrong with that guy?
What's not wrong with that guy?
So how about motherfucking Bob Saget?
Yeah, so the the rumor is he just got his booster shot like a week or two ago, and so there's a bunch of people speculating that it's something to do with that. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably like heroin overdose or something, but who knows? Because he just started touring again, I guess. But a lot of shit's come out of the woodwork on him being like kind of a fucking perv and like fucking with kids and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe fucking good riddance. I don't know.
Have you ever heard his his true stand-up?
Yeah. It's weird growing up with him, seeing him as Danny fucking Tanner on.
He's very dark.
Yeah.
Dark comic.
Yeah.
Funny as shit. But now, he's touching kids. It explains a lot of the...
Yeah. I guess during there was a... Say what?
I said, yeah, it's fucked up. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. I guess he had a roast done on him on Comedy Central or something like that. And again, this is all shit that I heard in the last few hours after hearing of his death and shit circulating. But I guess there was a bunch of jokes about that and like people were just laughing about it, which to me, like, I don't know how you joke about that shit. But
yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch that. I know he has a whole skit in his show about sticking his finger up Kimmy Gibbler's ass or some shit.
Yeah. He probably is a fucking sick bastard.
Yeah. Or he's just that kind of a dark, fucked up, weird comic.
Yeah. Who knows?
But yeah, from seeing him, how we saw him growing up on TGI, what was it, TGIF? It was every Friday.
Full House.
Yeah, but that was the block because it was that Family
right.
Matters.
Yeah.
And then they had the little dinosaur fuckers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are good shows.
Yeah.
You kids have no fucking idea.
No idea.
Yeah, right now it just says found dead in Orlando hotel. I mean, that could have killed him alone, being in fucking Orlando.
You just don't know.
Dude, I've been in fucking Miami with my wife because she's from fucking Florida, and man, that place is fucking ghetto.
They just breed them different there.
Oh, they do. Hell, my wife's a weird fucker. What's weird, she's been getting in chat a lot, so she'll probably hear this motherfucker. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think about old Danny Tanner passing away.
Yeah.
Some of you guys are hitting me up in the Patreon about the stickers. I'm going to give you guys 2 weeks to put your address in the Patreon so I can mail out the stickers. So 2 weeks, and then I'll mail them out on the 3rd week so you guys know.
I'll give you 1 week.
Yeah, Mike's only giving you 1 week. So if you didn't do it, I don't want to hear shit come February. Be talking about, here's my address, bro. Bitch.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers. Pay attention. So for those of y'all that are caught up on everything. So we got that.
What are the 2 key components for canine success? That's effective training and proper nutrition. Fueled by Team Dog brings those 2 components to your family and best friend. The perfect nutritional balance that results in a higher mental acuity, energy, overall vitality, and even an improved appearance. Every product you will find in my company's store was born from the battlefield and not from the boardroom. Let my life's work help you become your dog's hero.
And then we got Facebook moving to Austin. You hear that?
Mm-mm.
Meta is now moving to
the
Austin.
largest building, 33 floors in Austin.
Dude, Texas is doomed.
Yeah.
Doomed.
Yeah. Well, the good news is one of your businesses, all these Californians moving, maybe you ain't going to have to go as far to deliveries.
That's true. But, if it means replacing politics, culture, government, with why California is so fucked up, they can keep that shit.
Yeah.
You see that shift in Texas already. Austin being kind of the hub of where a lot of Californians have moved in the last several years, and Austin is way different than the rest of Texas in almost every bad way.
Oh yeah.
The exception I would say is, which this was good before Californians moved to it, was the kind of the culture and nightlife and music and food and whatever. But that's been that way for decades, so to see such a heavy influence of the California mentality down there. I mean, you're seeing it with defunding the police and doing a bunch of dumb shit that ends up turning the city into, San Francisco light. It's like, why did you move from San Francisco or the Bay Area or Silicon Valley to Austin to get away from the very policies that turned it into the shithole that you ran away from? It's fucking mind numbing.
Yeah. If Texas is so bad, because you hear a lot of, it could be Texas or blah, blah, blah. If we're so bad, why the fuck you coming here?
Yeah. I mean,
because you want our life.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like moving to the Middle East, as a civilian, or like, let's say you go to Saudi Arabia and you try to change Saudi Arabia into a Western democracy, society and culture. It's like, if you want that, stay where it's that way. It's fucking unbelievable. People don't understand that.
I hope like hell we don't flip, but I think we got one more good election in us, and then it's going to be
I don't know, man.
I don't even know if we got one more for the governor.
Yeah,
honestly.
No, I mean, I can see at a minimum, I think Texas is purple at this point.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to be blue in the next couple of years, I would bet. Unfortunately.
So here's the question: where did we move to?
To me, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, that tri-state area is kind of the last bastion, I think, shy of moving to Alaska, which I wouldn't want to move to. As beautiful as it is, it's just too fucking far away from mainland United States for me to want to live there. But even parts of Colorado, as liberal of a state Colorado is, it's weird there. If you go to some of the more rural towns, not the mountain ski resort towns, but some of the more rural towns in some of the heavier wooded areas in central and south central Colorado, it's surprisingly moderate. I wouldn't say it's conservative, but it's surprisingly moderate for how blue the state is in Denver and Boulder and what have you. But and what I like about Colorado is it's a little more centrally located. It's not quite as far from here. I mean, there's probably always going to be a footprint on my end here in Texas, at least for a while.
Yeah.
Between my kennel facility being here and the foundation and everything. I mean, that's not the same packaged decision as me moving somewhere. There's there's people, employees. There's 30 fucking plus dogs. There's just a lot that would go into moving that, and there's really no reason to, So
yeah.
I'll always have some foothold in Texas, or at least, like I said, for a while. I think I wouldn't mind looking at property up in that area and finding something and splitting time between here and there, but especially in the summertime here, because Jesus.
Yeah. So you hear that, Rohan? We may have to start zooming Mike in on these. Be Zoom with Mike. Yep. UnInfluenced. Yeah, Texas would be hard for me to leave just because of the history I have here.
Yeah.
But I'm getting more and more to where I want to, almost like the talk we had Friday about land.
Yeah.
Like if you could get with a couple good buddies and find 20 acres between all of you.
Yeah.
You're fucking pretty set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or fuck, if we could find 10 acres, split that shit. And we could put a little fucking race course in the back of it.
Yeah. You need a 2-mile long drag strip to get some top speed and fucking 60 to 130 and
I think we could
quarter-mile times. And I'd like to have about a 4-mile strip of fucking pavement.
Great. Now we got to look for that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But if you find a good area, I think you could get that pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Or relatively cheap.
Yeah, I mean, depending on where it's at, yeah.
Compared to what we have in our houses, I think we could get that a lot more bang for the buck further out.
For sure. Yeah,
and
no two ways about it.
And do hood rat shit. Like, wake up in the morning, you hear me just shooting. What's going on?
That's how it is out at the kennel facility. It's absolutely that type of environment where you can piss in the front yard and shoot in the backyard. There's a couple of neighbors, in the surrounding area, but it's pretty awesome that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool to just go off your front porch and shoot. My neighbors don't like it when I do it now.
Yeah. Well, they'll get used to it.
They get emotional.
It's the HOA that has the biggest problem.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of scared of me. Because he owed my wife money.
Is that right?
I was letting her deal with it. And he kept blowing her off. Finally, I emailed him. I said, "Hey, bro, I'm about to come down to the trailer so we can work out this check." And I wasn't meaning I'm about to come whip your ass. Was like, I'm gonna come down to the trailer, get you to write this check, dude. I shit you not. I had a response and our check in the mailbox the next day. He was like, "Fuck that tattooed up motherfucker. I don't want him down here."
Yep.
But yeah, we live in a decent area. Where we're at's okay. It's traveling to get where we're at.
Yeah.
Sucks ass.
Yeah. And I mean, I do like the Dallas area. I wish it wasn't as busy, which I bitch about. It feels like about every episode, but there's a lot to like here, culturally and business tax wise and what have you. But yeah, it's getting to the point where, man, there's just so many fucking people. It makes it hard to go anywhere or do anything, But
yeah, it's right now we're gonna talk about some stuff we did Friday, but I want to get a reaction real quick from Rohan on this will be part of the thumbnail, Rohan. Okay.
Okay. This picture that you're gonna send me?
I'm sending you 3 pictures right now.
Okay, and they're all gonna be part of the thumbnail?
No, not all of them. We're gonna pick the best of them.
Oh, okay.
Or we scissor them together like 2 lesbians. It was definitely a rare sight to get this thumbnail.
Did I see it?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, so
hell yeah.
Friday we want to tell people what we did Friday?
Yeah.
So Friday we go help out Violent Nomad. Check out the shirts. Old Clint Emerson's got what'd he come out? 12 new designs or some shit?
Yeah, I think so.
And great shirts. Well, we both take our cars because we're using them for the photo shoot. It was cold as hell. I mean, nipples cutting glass. And we're in a parking garage and all that. It was a good time. And we go to leave. And us being us, we're not even driving bad. And we both get pulled the fuck over.
Big time.
Yeah.
Got pulled the fuck over.
Yeah.
A wet dream of an experience, I think, for a state patrol guy getting 2 supercars at once.
Yeah.
So
is that why he took long to walk up to the cars? He had to wipe the cum off his windshield?
Probably.
He's probably finishing himself off.
And I knew once he got out and I seen his smile and he looked like he could eat a fucking apple through a picket fence that we were definitely getting a ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a fucking prick. And the bad part is I passed probably the same state trooper yesterday, leaving damn near that same area. And I was doing 94 when I passed him. It was damn near that same type of turn, and I was in the TRX.
No shit.
Hauling ass, pacing another fucking truck, and
didn't
nothing.
Give a fuck, yeah.
And so we got pulled over. And when me and Mike drive, we drive pretty close together. The guy claims he clocked Mike at 91, me at 93. There's no way possible I'm going 2 miles an hour faster than Mike, and he could radar us that fast.
Yeah, I mean, we were like fucking right next to each other.
We were
I mean, I don't
close.
know. Yeah, and it was a rear radar too. So to me, there's no fucking way. I don't know, but yeah, it's funny. He asked me. I was thinking about it after the fact, of course, but when he first came up to the window, he was like, "Good afternoon." I was like, "Good afternoon." And he asked, "Is there any reason why you were speeding or going so fast?" And I just looked at him and I said, "No," and that was it. But I got to thinking, and I think like the best response I could have given and will in the future, if that's the question, hey, why were you going so fast? I'm going to answer the question with a question and say, is there any response from me that would make you not give me a ticket?
Yeah.
And if he says no, then I'd say, then why the fuck are you asking me that? Yeah. Like to me, that is a dumb question. Like if I said, yeah, it's because it's a chick, my water just broke. You'd be like, oh, okay. I bet he'd still give you a fucking ticket. But, but in that environment where there's a 720S and a fucking Pista speeding, like, why even ask that? Like, It seems like such a dumb fucking question to me, but.
Yeah. And now he's handing me my ticket and he's like, why are you going so fast? I'm like, man, I honestly thought we were going faster. I mean, you already wrote the fucking ticket, dick.
I mean, I'd just be like, why are we going so fast? Like, well, fast compared to what?
Yeah.
Like it's not fast compared to the space shuttle.
Now, in all honesty, if we were driving normal,
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, we were just at the wrong speed.
Yeah.
Fast enough to get in trouble, but not so fast to avoid it. Which maybe that's just lesson learned: is fucking drop the hammer from now on.
So from now on, no more me leaving the house with half a tank. I'm gonna be full tank of gas, fucking
ready to
hauling
fucking go
ass.
all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and it was a strange day because when we left for the shoot, it was fucking 30 degrees outside, and all three of us, which Clint's car was already at the location, but we run tires. They're the Cup 2Rs. So for those of y'all that don't know, the Cup 2Rs have just enough grooves in them to spit out minimal water. I would not drive on those tires in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, not other than super cautious.
Yeah,
Anyway.
being very slow. We were supposed to go to a meet the next morning, and it was raining and cold. I know my tires Friday never heated up.
No, yeah, mine either.
They started getting somewhat traction, but they never got to the green level to where we could haul ass, because at 100 I punched it once, and it just got all crazy.
Yeah, I mean, those tires are a double-edged sword. When they are in the proper conditions, they're incredible. But they have to be hot for them to be sticky and grip really well. If they're not, they're like fucking hockey pucks, and it's like driving on ice. Like they just, I mean, when we pulled out of one of the locations, I'd say not even half throttled it. Just enough to get it to kick down in auto and punch it a little bit, and Jesus Christ, my car fishtailed and got almost completely fucking sideways in each direction. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah, and for your car being what it is, we don't talk about it too much. I don't think we have. The Ferrari computer is very fucking smart.
Yeah, the eDiff, the electronic differential in that thing is brilliant.
Yeah.
It allows you to have fun with the car, but in a controlled manner, where it has the ability to, when it starts to fishtail or slide either direction, whether it's just in the rear end or drifting entirely, is it like it has the ability to measure how, from a degree angle, how far canted you get either way. And once it gets to a certain point, it cuts enough power to balance it back out, but not completely cuts power. So it's just enough to get it to grip again and straighten it out and keep going. And it's phenomenal. What's interesting is the setting switch, the Marinetto or whatever the fuck it's called, the drive selector switch. There's wet, sport, race, ESC off, or what is it? I can't remember.
Off, yeah.
There's two of them that basically give you no traction control. One is almost no traction control, and then the other one is completely off. It's ESC off and CT off. But so when you're in wet, or in any of those modes, it doesn't affect the timing or the responsiveness of the engine the way most do, whether it's AMGs, M Series BMWs, fucking Porsches. I mean, you name it. Those drive selector switches change the responsiveness, how fast it shifts, all that kind of stuff. In the Ferrari, it doesn't change any of that. All it changes is your the eDiff settings, basically, or traction control, and how much you have or don't have, and how intrusive they are. And so, it's a really, really neat system once you get used to it and kind of understand how it's going to benefit you. And you've got to keep in mind the conditions and all of those things to really be able to take advantage of it. But once you get used to it and are comfortable with it, it's really fucking brilliant how well they've managed to make that.
And for it to be cold enough for the tires and everything to outsmart that fucking system says a lot about the conditions.
Yeah, they were treacherous. I mean, race mode is what I keep it in 90% of the time. Because it's that happy medium, it's right in the middle, because you've got wet and sport below it, and then you've got ESC off and CT off above it. So it's it's right there where it gives you, a fair bit of protection to keep you safe enough to where you're not flying off the fucking road, but gives you enough, laying the power down to get a little bit squirrely and keep it real playful and lively and have a lot of fun with it. So it's such a good system.
And bang bitches with no rubbers.
Yeah, that too. It doesn't warn you on that.
Yeah. But yeah, a little bit more on the photo shoot. I'm gonna give more of a plug. On these designs, you guys, I ain't shitting you. These are some comfortable ass shirts Clint designed. Yeah, they're comfortable as fuck. He got these, some beanies, so go check him out. It's violentnomad.com, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, go check him out, and Clint will send you the bill for that. No, but they're badass. They're very vibrant. Like I got home, my wife we ordered my wife 5 of them that afternoon because she wanted them. She's a shirt hoe, and which I don't bitch. She just walks around in t-shirts. So fuck it.
Nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, I ordered her those. Are really good shirts, comfortable. They're not tight fitting. They remind me a lot of your shirts. People see I wear Mike shirts a lot because they're comfortable. They're really good quality shirt that you can't fuck up. I'm trying to find some cool car news. There's not been a lot out other than this EV shit. And my wife asked me about EVs. What are my thoughts on them? And I said, I don't fucking like them. And then I guess it was one of those nights I couldn't sleep, and I started thinking, Elon Musk came out and said there's no way we can sustain the EV culture the way it's going. California is already asking people not to charge their cars.
Yeah.
Yet GM, Ford, and Ram all announcing their fucking new all EV trucks coming out.
Yeah.
Which you can guarantee if it's a truck, people are going to use them a little more. They're going to probably get shittier mileage. They're going to be charging it more.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see is people who stick with the gas models are going to start seeing gas prices come down. And we're going to see electricity prices skyrocket.
It's possible.
Because of demand.
Yeah. It's for sure possible. I think, if it was managed correctly, both sides could benefit from it. If the market, industry market cap wise, all vehicles in all spectrums, from the cheapest commuter car all the way up to, semis and everything in between. If there's, from a statistician standpoint, I think enough people within the Department of Energy to figure out, hey, looking at trends and growth and all of this, like how much of an infusion of EV vehicles in the car market would make it to where it actually eases some of the demand on gas, but not put such a demand on electricity to where it's, making prices skyrocket or making it to where, it's not available or what have you. And I'm sure that there is a number, kind of a magic number that, so to me that would actually make sense. But something, and I know we've talked about this before, but something significant would have to change electricity production wise for any major Western country to realistically switch completely over to electric power. I know there's a couple of countries in Europe that have, said by like 2030 or 2035 that their governments are going to institute basically a no gas engine policy, which I think is a big fucking mistake. But you have to understand. I mean, even if you're not a proponent of nuke energy or not competent whatsoever as it relates to Department of Energy type policy, like you have to understand that if there's already rolling blackouts in big states in the height of summer and the height of winter because the power demand is so high, adding to that demand is going to be a fucking nightmare, but
oh yeah, it's going to be
fucking stupid,
a total clusterfuck.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the saying of what we've said over and over, the hybrid is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
The hybrid energy. I mean, your truck is basically hybrid.
Yeah. Well, I think, but my truck is kind of the reverse of, say, an SF90 or the Performance. I do think, and it's not just because I appreciate those cars, I think the SF90 type of model is a better longer sustainable solution for this potential problem than the opposite, where you have really an inability. Like my truck, you can't run it on. You can't decide to just do electric. It will kick on its own. Whereas SF90, as an example, you can switch it to electric only. And I think by making it a little more of a 50-50 split, giving more performance, think of it like a Tesla Plaid integrated into an SF90, or like one of the electric motors from a Plaid or an S model or whatever, Model S, something like that, where you have a longer range, more performance, not a full-blown electric car, but more of you could do it either or, and you can decide to switch. Yeah. So that if you do want to run on nothing but electric, like you can actually run it like an electric car. Because even the SF90, which is better than my truck, but it's still, compared to even a Prius, is slow and fucking terrible. It's like 15 miles of range, 0 to 60 in like 30 fucking seconds. It's basically just moving, and that's about it. So I think if they did some sort of collaborative, true 50-50 hybrid or close, 60-40 maybe, gas engine to electric motor, then that would give you as close to the best of both worlds in the event that you need it. Because to me, just like generators, right? You got generators, some of those portable ones that can run off of propane, natural gas, diesel, fucking regular gas, ethanol, like just by flipping a fucking switch. Mm-hmm. I think that, that makes more sense from a long-term power solution standpoint than having it grossly lopsided one way or the other. But
what I don't get, and it's got to be I don't know, maybe it's the lobbyists in D.C., or maybe our politicians are just so fucking dumb that they don't care. But how can they not see what's happening with the economy right now with just the vehicles? Yeah. Not to mention anything petroleum-based and all that. If you start messing with that altogether, we're screwed. You got plastics and shit like that all work off that.
I will say it's not either of those things entirely. I think it's a combination. I know it's a combination. It's primarily political. Is that, politicians at that level almost exclusively operate with one thing in mind, and that's maintaining power. Yeah. Right. And maintaining power is equal to talking points that register well with the largest swaths of demographics out there that support their base and vote, for those people. And so it's not that they don't realize that it's bad or that it's dangerous or that it's, an impossible solution 10, 20 years from now. It's the fact that going against that with their primary supporters and their base and their constituents is going to make them lose power. And so they will say what they need to say, even if they know it's bullshit, even if they know it's detrimental to the country. If it keeps them in power, they will do it. And you see it. You've seen it from the dawn of recorded history up until, as we sit here talking, even in our own country. And there's a number of other countries that are far further down that path internationally than we are. But if you look at country after country after country that has very tyrannical, power-driven dictatorships, the 1% that is connected to whoever is in charge lives Hunger Games, fucking President Snow. As even though that's fiction, it's really not. Yeah, that's how it is in Syria. That's how it was in Libya. It's how it was in Egypt, Iraq. Fucking, it's that way in Iran. It's that way in a lot of China. Fucking Indonesia, most places that have brutal one party for, 40, 50 year families that are in power, that's how it is, and so those people don't mind everybody else being piss broke and actually prefer it because those people are dependent on them, to just survive. And so when people get in the mentality of I'm just trying to stay alive and, this tyrannical asshole dictatorship is offering me a solution, even though they started the problem, it's a manufactured solution, and it's all bullshit. Is that when you're desperate and trying to survive, you'll eat it up, and so it's a nasty kind of self-licking ice cream cone that just continues to turn over and over and over. That makes our politicians bullshit people. Republicans are guilty of it as well, in a very different way, I think. But similarly, they sow a lot of fear and making people scared of certain things that are overblown. Democrats do it too, but that fear that kind of is pervasive within a society and a cultural environment is what drives people to panic and then make emotionally based, irrational decisions that are manipulated by the people who are in power. So, unfortunately, it's none of the above. It's the fact that they're looking at it from a how do I stay in power standpoint, and this is kind of collectively what we've managed to convince the people that is the best idea and what they want. And so we're going to bullshit them and tell them that that's what we're going to do, and maybe even try to do it so that they'll keep us in our positions of power and just keep going after it. And you see it even further, especially with a lot of Democrats right now over the last couple of years of wanting to pack the court system and add more extreme liberal judges to the Supreme Court. There's only one reason you do that, and that's to change long-term, big-picture policy in the favor with which you want it to fall. Same thing with adding Washington, D.C. as a state. Washington, D.C.'s population is like 96% Democrat. It's not a secret as to why Democrats push so hard for adding it as a seat, or as a state rather, because that's 2 more Senate seats that are hardcore liberals that are going to vote in their favor, and a handful of congressmen that are going to do the same. Same thing with Puerto Rico and Guam and trying to take U.S. territories and turn them into states, and going down there first and offering a shit ton of aid, and the Democrats are going to pull you guys out of here and give you statehood if you vote for us and whatever. And so it's just a nasty, power-hungry, vicious cycle that way.
Yeah. So it's almost as if, I hate to say it, but people that are speaking out, kind of like we are, if people would actually listen to common sense on how energy works, they could start to realize, hey, not everybody in party lines are right or wrong. We don't need to take away all the gas-powered vehicles. We don't need to stop electric vehicles. What we need to do is come to a common ground, tell our government to quit fucking around, because we're going to keep needing to drill. We're going to use oil and nuclear. We need nuclear power, like you've said multiple times. But the hybrid engine, to me, is the best way to go. Yeah. And hybrid engines have been around. You got to think there were hybrid bicycles in a way that people didn't realize they were hybrid.
Yeah.
Only that we were powering them to build electricity up to then let the bike coast on its own with a little electric motor. Then they had the one gasoline. You pedaled it to get it going, and then boom, a gas engine started, and you were good to go. So this stuff's been going on forever, and yet we're sitting here trying to fix something that's not truly broken. It's fucked up because, we're polluting the shit out of the world, but I don't think batteries are going to help.
Yeah, that's I think the most disingenuous and shitty part about this whole thing is that it's being pushed under the guise of climate change and environmental safety and what have you. And the reality of it is that, people are very disconnected from how things work. No different than, a lot of people eating meat versus being a vegan and kind of understanding where food comes from and how most people don't, and don't really have an appreciation for what it takes to source food and all those types of things. This is no different, I don't think, in that most people, they watch an hour-long documentary on Netflix about how plastic and oil is evil and killing everybody and whatever, not realizing how big of a role it plays in our society and the compromises that would have to take place if you were to get rid of some of these things. I'm not saying that they're not dangerous or harmful to the environment. They are, but I think just like with most things, is that it gets overblown to a very, very large degree because it plays on people's emotions. And when people are emotional about things, they're far more likely to do what you want them to do by manipulating their emotions into thinking that, their safety is on the line and the planet is going to fucking burn to the ground in 3 weeks if they don't vote this way. It's easy to get people to vote that way when they're scared and they think, their life or their kids' lives are in danger or what have you. And so, I think the key is being, more honest about it, which, again, just like my last rant, they're not going to be because they want to stay in power. So, but what most people have to realize is that, electric power, they think, well, it's non-pollutant. That's incorrect. Unless that electricity is being generated by a mechanism that has no carbon footprint, but even windmills, as an example, or solar panels, those have to be made somewhere. Those have, in my research, in some ways equally, or even in some instances, more detrimental environmental impacts than gas does. And so people just automatically assume I'm driving an electric car and there's no emissions coming out of that vehicle, so I'm doing good for the planet.
Yeah.
And that's a convenient way for you to look at it, but it's incorrect, because that electricity had to come from somewhere. Those batteries had to come from somewhere. Mining those batteries, what it takes to get those materials out of the ground, how to maintain them, how to dispose of them when they don't work anymore. Same thing again with the solar panels. Same thing with windmills. And so, the kind of lesser of all evils, frankly, is nuke energy. And a lot of people are against that, saying it's dangerous. Look at Chernobyl, or even the plant in Japan here just a few years ago that was adversely affected by the typhoon. Those are concerns for sure. But at the rate our population is growing, and the demand for power and for gas and for everything, is that there isn't a easy Disney fairy tale solution for some of these issues that don't have some drawbacks associated with them, and this is absolutely one of those cases. And so, to me, it's for the long term and the most kind of economical and sensible, realistic solution moving forward. I think, if each state had one main nuke plant in its state, that, the federal government uses some of that DOE money for protection and for, safety mechanisms and for all of the things that DOE is supposed to provide, went and did that, then that would stifle a lot of the concerns and problems that most states have when the power grids go down and there's a huge draw on electricity. But
so while you were talking about that, I was looking something up, and a lot of people don't realize what a electric vehicle is made out of. Hold on, I'm looking up one more thing real quick. So a Tesla is made up, a Tesla battery, the Model S, not the Plaid. The Plaid has more than this. These batteries right here, 7,104 of these to make a Tesla Model S.
yeah,
Each one of these has to be disposed in a special way.
yeah,
These, you and I both know, anytime you go ship something, what's one of the questions they ask? Does this have a lithium battery in it?
yeah.
What the fuck does that matter? Well, when lithium batteries go through scanners, it can mess with a scanner.
So the other thing to think about, though, there's 7,100.
7,104 of these.
But so think about what it took to make those also, not just the material in them currently and what you do with them once they're unusable anymore, is that, that the process that it took to make all those was not carbon neutral, and not even fucking close to carbon neutral. So what it takes to just produce a fucking Tesla, carbon footprint wise, I would love to see what the data is on that and how many years of running a vehicle the equivalent is of making a Tesla equates to. It's significant. So again, it's very virtue signaling like, and it makes people who are severely disconnected from how the world works to think that, oh, I'm driving a Tesla, like I care about the environment more than you do. Like it's just a pompous, disconnected, arrogant, fucking self-righteous bullshit way to look at things, and that's not me saying I think every car should, be a 5.9 Cummins diesel with twin fucking smokestacks blowing coal straight up into the atmosphere. No, like I don't celebrate that shit either. But I do think that there's such a just oblivious disconnection between, what people really think, in the way that their perception is of how things work is versus how it actually works. And that's a big problem.
So again, me playing a little bit of catch up because I'm doing a little bit of this on the fly. So this one battery can contaminate up to 100 yards. And if I just throw this in the trash can, if I'm done with this and irresponsibly throw this in the trash can, 100 yards of.
Yeah. And so think about that in water, right?
Yeah. Or 7,000 of these have to be disposed. Now, how are they made?
Yeah.
Like you said, the carbon footprint. If this is considered hazardous waste, which the lead batteries used to be pretty bad. We know that. I'm not saying this is a horrible way to make a battery. I think this is a great way to make a battery. But in our motorcycles, we have lithium batteries.
Yeah.
They're smaller, lighter, and there's not as many of these. They'll last way longer, but eventually, like we keep saying, do the 10 to 20 year. 10 to 20 years, these are all getting messed with. These have a charge rate, if I remember correctly, it's 300 cycles. After 300 cycles, these are trash. These are total trash.
Yeah.
So if that remains true with the 7,104 of these in your Tesla, the common housewife don't know, well, fuck, I'm going to plug my car in every day.
Yeah.
Every day. So every day you're going through a cycle of charging this. You might get double the lifespan out of it, maybe. So you get 600 charges out of it in a year.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that's had the same Tesla long enough to run into where they start having, battery issues. And I'd be curious to know, maybe even fucking Google that while we're sitting here. Like, what's the average lifespan of a Tesla battery, or if there are issues that way? Because I can only assume, because you don't hear much about it, is that maybe it's designed different, or that the cell structure in it is more longevity driven. Fuck, I don't know. But because I would think that if you're only getting a couple hundred charges out of the batteries in there, there'd be people that have 4 or 5 year old Teslas that have had to have the batteries replaced, and maybe there are, and they just don't talk about it. Fuck, I don't know. But
it's saying Tesla does not know how long their battery will last, but scientifically, it should last 300,000 miles or 1,500 battery cycles.
Okay. So, that's certainly more encouraging than 300, but still, I've had vehicles that have had 300,000 miles on them. But as anybody who knows anybody with a Tesla can probably attest to, is that, is there, or I guess it's as much of a question is do you know anybody that has run out of batteries or had to have their batteries replaced or what have you, and what does that look like? As Teslas get into where they're 10, 15, 20 years old, that's when you're going to start to see that bigger turnover rate. Right now they're all new enough to where they're still clearly largely falling mostly within the realm of not having issues with batteries. But once the first models start to, then it's going to be a cascade effect. And then that's when you're just going to see all of them year after year after year. There's going to be stockpiles of automotive electric batteries that cars have that need to be dealt with. And what do you do with them? So it's all complicated shit. There's not really clear cut, super easy answers to any of it, but it's just things that people need to be more aware of than I think mainstream media, social media, and our government leads you on to. But
okay, so basically, I want all you guys, especially you loyal listeners, to Google carbon footprint of lithium-ion batteries, because I don't want to get in here to basically tell you all of this, but one of the first sites that pops up is called the ChangeIt.app, and it's a global site that basically tells you all about the carbon footprint. And I can tell you, to make one lithium ion 18650, the carbon footprint is says it's very high CO2 emissions with 73 kg CO2 equivalent to the battery of one Nissan Leaf. And then it just goes on to tell you to make a Tesla battery, and you got to really get into the nitty gritty of all this. 7,300 kilograms of CO2 to make a Tesla per battery.
7,300 kilograms.
Yeah.
So then I would ask, I'll look it up. Right? Is what is the average national vehicle kg carbon kg footprint?
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here just on, man, I accidentally came up with this discussion, guys, so it's pretty neat. But I mean, anything like this, hell, back in the day when we were kids and especially our parents, there was no such thing as plastic. So everybody had glass bottle Coca-Colas, glass milk was in glass, shit like that. And then as we started getting older, it's glass is bad. Glass is bad.
Yeah.
Drink out of plastic. You're saving the planet. It's reusable, recyclable. Oh, shit, we got to burn it, melt it, use it, recycle it that way. You know what we should do? We should go back to glass. Glass is safe. Glass is better. It don't poison you. Guess what? Plastic is poison you.
Yeah.
I literally had a blood test, and I like fucking around sometimes and saying my plastic levels were too high in a blood test, but there actually is a test where they can test it's not your plastic levels, it's what the toxicity of what drinking out of a straw, a plastic bottle, eating with plastic forks, and all this stuff, microwaving in a plastic bowl. There's a blood test that tells you those levels, and my levels were fucking high.
Yeah.
So I like fucking around with Mike, telling my plastic levels are too fucking high.
So I just did the math and looked it up and everything. What did you say? It was 11,000?
It's 7,300 kilograms.
7,300 kilograms. All right. So that's not quite double what an average car uses per year.
Yeah, and this is per year.
Per year.
Per battery build.
Okay.
Per battery
and
build.
there's 3 batteries in most Teslas, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at 6 years basically of what a normal vehicle has as a carbon footprint just to make those batteries, right? That's not any of the other materials, which, it's a lot of plastic, the rubber on the tires, all of that stuff, all of that similarly, has a carbon footprint. And I'd say, all the other materials, a year, maybe 2 years worth of carbon footprint. So you're looking at it's, I think, easy to say 7 to 8 years worth of driving a car normally, on average, years worth of carbon footprint to have a Tesla. 7 to 8 years, so that's something that, if our two dumbasses can figure out in 5 minutes sitting here, people that dictate these policies and run around with signs in Washington, D.C. and San Francisco and whatever about, how everything's killing the environment and whatever, and they drove there in their fucking Tesla with their plastic signs and, whatever else. It's just, people need to be more cognizant of the talking points that they let them get emotional about things and make irrational decisions based on it. Now that we've spent an hour talking about it.
Hey, and the cool thing is 60% of China's electricity, now that they're going all electricity, you know where it comes from?
Coal mines.
Coal mines.
Yeah, which especially the way that they don't regulate them are blasphemously, if that's a word, dirty. So
yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Hey, only 68% of ours we make electricity from petroleum.
Yeah.
Yeah. This fucking smart business here, people. Yeah. And Rohan sent me a picture of an electric bike. It's the Livewire if y'all want to look it up. It's a pretty cool bike. I think I've sent it to you before. Told you to get it for someone. It's a neat little bike. I couldn't see me riding it.
No, me either. But so that in the same vein, just I want to take one step back. Is that you're looking at 7 to 8 years, essentially, at least 6 plus whatever it costs to make the vehicle, between the batteries and the vehicle, and that's before you're actually using the electricity on a daily basis to power it. Right. So you're already, we'll call it 7 years behind just on day one of getting it. And then depending on how the electricity that you're using to power that day in, day out is manufactured, harnessed, etc. You know, like to me, again, a Tesla at that point, like it's kind of a wash if it's even better, you know, because again, that, you know, it depends on where the electricity is coming from and how it's made. But, you know, so to assume that I'm driving a Tesla, I care harder than you do about the environment is bullshit, you know, so shove it up your ass.
Well, we could see hamster and gerbil sales go up in case somebody wants to start.
Especially declawed ones in Rohan's case.
Yeah, declawed to go straight up his keister. Rohan did tell me he keeps gerbils in his prison wallet.
Oh, God. No.
Have you ever Googled the word prison wallet, or it's 2 words, prison wallet?
No, but I'm guessing that's your ass.
Yeah, you should do it.
You don't have to guess.
You don't have to guess. It is. I love I've had to prove that to so many people when I'm like, say, man, where'd you get that? Your prison wallet? And they're like,
What the fuck is a prison
what the fuck is that? Here, hold on, let me Google it. It's so fun to Google it and show them the picture than it is to.
I just like to bend over and show them.
Yeah. Here, it's right here.
One thing, just an update. We've been talking about doing more reviews. We've got all the equipment. So we're in the process of getting it set up to do bike and car reviews and give you some legit content visually as opposed to just us sitting here. So that's one step closer. Thanks to Matt for getting all that shit.
And then we still got to decide. It's 50-50 on the poll on if they want us to cut it in or make it so totally separate video. Some people said just give it to the Patreon people. But I'm torn. Do we do that, set the thing up right here where we can watch the review, pause it, and then on this part kind of cut in?
Yeah.
On top of we want to talk about what we're doing in the cars too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of have to do it that way, is that we review it and talk about it, and it's all one big episode, really. But one thing on that too, if there are cars or bikes or whatever that that anybody wants us to check out, like we can generally find them in the area and maybe do a review on them. So if there are requests outside of what we have, throw that in the comments and we'll see if we can bring some reviews of other things to you guys also.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's cool stuff. Even if it's dorky.
Even if it's not. I mean, fucking, like I said, you know, whatever. To me, it's up to you guys. You know, if you want to see a fucking, you know, minivan fucking done, whatever. I mean, you know,
you know what I've thought about doing? The old Top Gear, where they used to get so much money,
ass vehicle, and then
see how far they could go.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You imagine if we get me, you, and say Clint.
No, I know it'd be
and
awesome.
We do like a $2,000 challenge or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and we start here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those to where we'd have to record so much so we could take a break to do it. But
yeah, it'd be fun.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, that'd be a fucking blast to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. We should definitely think about doing something like that soon. Yeah. Rohan, you got any weird ass shit other than you got COVID?
I don't have COVID.
You do have COVID. You got COVIDs.
I got COVID.
Yeah.
No, just excited for the new exhaust and stuff on the bike. Just waiting for the supply chain to calm the fuck down and to get that shit. But
what exhaust are you getting?
I really want a...
no, not what you want. What are you getting?
Yeah.
I'm most likely going to get the Leo Vinci Grand Corsa.
God, you indecisive fuck. Just tell me what it's going to be.
Yeah. The Leo Vinci.
Not probably, not what you want to get.
the Leo Vinci
what?
Grand Corsa. Leo Vinci, whatever. It's an Italian.
Vance and Hines?
It's Vance and Hines. He's making shit up.
It's not Vance and Hines.
Yeah. His Indian cousin is making knockoff Vance and Hines. You can come over here. It's going to be like that deal I seen you. Carbon fiber. And just pointing at some all fucking shit. Yeah.
So that fucker's going to be loud. And then I rode Saturday when it was all wet to Cantina.
How was
fun.
that?
It was fun.
Did you push it?
I got up to 95.
Okay, but did you push it?
Yeah. Did you hit a wheelie?
No. I engine brake too hard and the back kind of got a bit squirrely on me, but that was about it.
It shouldn't.
I think I hit it. Well, I hit oil That's what I think happened because I stopped at a stoplight and I saw oil on the.
Where
on the
do you
ground.
ride when it's wet?
I was riding on the service road.
No, like in the lane.
I was in the middle at first, then hopped over to the left side of the lane.
You fucked up. When it's slick outside, raining, you stay in where a car or truck, where their tire treads have been.
Yeah, that's
the reason is. Guess where oil leaks happen?
At the middle.
Yeah, so you want to stay off that.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to try to stay off it at stoplights the best as possible. That's why you see most people on bikes scoot over to one side or the other in a lane.
I like to snake and weave back and forth in the middle.
Yeah,
that's what I like to.
That's what I was doing.
I do see you weave through
especially when it's raining.
Yeah, through the stripes.
I just to get the tires warm. That's what I do when it was dry, and then because it's fun to kind of weave in the lane.
Didn't even know I'm fucking with him.
No.
Well, I'm just saying I like to weave in the lane. That's what I was doing, and engine brake because that's what I normally do. And then
was your bike at any type of lean angle when the supposed engine braking made the rear end get squirrely?
Nope.
That doesn't make any sense. How fast were you going? What gear were you in?
60 in fourth, dropped down to second.
Oh, you just dropped down gears too fast.
That's what I was thinking.
Probably let off the clutch. That's not.
So you dropped 2 full gears with the clutch let in, and then let it out
slowly.
Yeah,
that's not engine brake.
I mean, you got to do them one at a time, there, genius.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have the auto blip like we have, it's a little bit easier because it's a smoother transition. But I still never go click, click, click real quick unless I'm emergency stopping, grabbing everything and shutting it down. But that's a whole different ballgame.
Do one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if going down to third is 2 seconds or a second and a half, go through them in the order they're supposed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a good habit to get into.
Just like a chick. You want to go down slow.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. I tell my wife all the time, this shit ain't about her. She wanted to marry a winner and I finished first. Yeah.
Don't act like Animal from Muppet Babies. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or maybe do act like Animal from Muppet Babies and see what happens.
So I've been in a conundrum, and I kind of want to touch on something we were talking about before we came in here and recording. I don't want to get into top 10 because I personally can't name my top 10 favorite movies. Rohan brought up a good point, and then I liked what you said. He asked top 10 favorite movies, and mine, I have a movie that I've said it over and over. It's Top Gun. If Top Gun's on Days of Thunder, I usually stop and just fucking watch them bitches.
Yeah. No
matter where the fuck they're at in the movie. It never fails. I'm usually at the fucking where he's riding the motorcycle by the fucking fighter jet.
That was like a Ninja 600, right?
Yeah.
Or was it a bigger?
It was I think it was
the 750?
Oh,
I mean, because back in '86, I don't even know if they had leader.
They didn't have.
750 was, I think, maybe the biggest one. I don't know, but yeah, either way, it's such an iconic fucking
I'm gonna Google that shit right now.
Yeah,
you'd think our producer would have.
It was a ZX 900.
Really?
Yeah, it was a 900cc bike. It was the Kawasaki ZX 900, also known as the Kawasaki GPC
body style engine.
900R.
You got it pulled up.
What'd you say it was?
ZX 900, or otherwise known as the GPZ 900R.
If you just Google Top Gun
bike, it comes up.
Yeah, that's probably way easier. 1994
ZX 900
Ninja.
Tom Cruise has also been spotted on an H2.
Of course he has. Tom Cruise loves the motorcycles.
Yeah.
For Top Gun 2, I think he's on an H2.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Look at that shit. God damn. That H2 is a crazy bike. I just wouldn't want one, but
aesthetically,
it looks really ugly.
I don't like the bike.
Yeah.
Power wise, I fucking love that bike.
Fucking 300 horsepower motorcycle.
But I have to be able to like what I'm looking at.
Yeah. It's huge too. You know?
And it's like dating a chick with some really good fucking pussy. But she's fucking horrible. You know, she's a big bitch that you just hate to look at.
It looks like it's eyes are just inverted, you know?
Inverted. You just went inverted with a Top Gun reference, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, but what's the one movie you can't scroll past? And I want this in the comments too. You're sitting there.
Ass Worship 9. That one I can't. I can't just scroll past it.
Yeah, that's Pornhub though.
That's a different type of movie.
Where we lose it
Nah,
though,
not really.
honestly, is nowadays we don't scroll like we used to scroll.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like I don't menu wise, even on regular cable, which I do still have. I don't typically go through the menu to look at movie channels anymore. Like if we want to watch something, it's on, one of the fucking streaming services or what have you. You know, so it's just kind of revolutionized and changed the way you do that. So there's far less scrolling. But I would say to your question, Christmas Vacation, pretty much without question. Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, all classic 80s movies. I mean, really any classic 80s movie that I grew up watching with my older brothers and memorizing fucking lines and quotes from. Really any of those classic movies from that era. If I, Back to the Future, any of them, if I see one on, I'll watch it for a few minutes. But
Yeah. Rohan, you weren't even born in the 80s.
I was not.
fuck, he wasn't even born in the 90s.
Yeah. Damn. That just made me feel old as fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Do you even watch anything from the 80s?
Some super super iconic movies.
Do you even know what the 80s is?
Yeah.
I do. 1980s, that
You
kind
were
of.
born in what, 03, 04?
02.
02.
Yeah, but like the very end of 02, borderline 03.
Damn. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So what's your go-to? Name 3 or 4 that I can't say scroll past because, again, we don't do that. Hell, we had her aunt and uncle over not too long ago, and he's scrolling through my TV. I'm like, bro, I didn't even know it did that. Apparently, I have a whole movie package I didn't know was fucking on my TV.
That's fucking wild.
What are some for you, Rohan?
Movies?
No.
Well, right now I'm going
What
through
are
it.
we talking about?
Well, right now I'm going watching kind of a lot of TV shows, but for me, movies, kind of movies that I could watch over and over and over again. Number one is Ford vs. Ferrari. Matt Damon and Bale, Christian Bale. That's the greatest movie of all time because it combines great kind of cinematography with just a fantastic story.
I'd make a Siskel and Ebert reference, but he wouldn't get that either.
No, he wouldn't.
A what
2
reference?
thumbs up. Siskel and Ebert.
No, I've never heard of that.
Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert.
Motherfucker.
Who fed Roger Ebert? They're all 80s references that you're not going to fucking pick up on. But they were 2 movie critics that were popular movie critics back in the 80s and probably even the 90s that did movie reviews. Again, this was before the internet, which is hard for you to probably even imagine. But like back then, it was like there was the TV guide that was in the newspaper. That's how you determined what the fuck was on TV. There wasn't a menu on your TV. You had to look in a book that came in your fucking newspaper that had the schedule for what was going to be on TV.
And there wasn't no, unless you had a VCR that could record.
Yeah.
There wasn't no fucking DVR.
Yeah, and then they came out with VCRs that you could set to record at a certain time, but still was a cassette tape. It was like you want to watch fucking, whatever show on a Friday night or whatever. It was like you got to sit your ass down and watch it, and then wait for the next week to come out. Like there was no binge watching seasons or any of that shit. But
I wanted to punch Siskel and Ebert all the time.
they're both dorks.
They were always wrong. Motherfuckers. But then they died. And which one was it which one died first?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was the squinty one. He died first because the little fat fucker kept
I think it was
going.
Siskel, Gene Siskel.
Yeah.
The wiry haired, mustached, fucking squirrely fucker.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was him that died first, and then the little fat fucker kept going for a while. And shit sucked. But that's it. You guys let us know. And Ford versus fucking Ferrari, that ain't the greatest movie of all time. Now, if you would have said motherfucking Star Wars,
Oh yeah, that's easily so. Ford versus Ferrari for me, it was I was just kind of awe-inspired by it, just completely awestruck. I love
inspired or awestruck or both.
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 Who were you awestruck by?
Matt Damon's performance as Carroll Shelby.
Yeah, I wanted to blow Christian Bale. The way he was shifting those gears.
When I saw Matt Damon act that role, I wanted to choke on him. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Something's wrong with you. What's the oldest movie that's an iconic movie for you?
That is an iconic movie for me.
Oldest movie. And Star Wars don't count.
Oh, shit. 12 Angry Men.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be fired.
That's a good movie.
You definitely need Road Up. By the way, we're definitely starting to wrap people up now. Yeah, that's not. Oh, what was shit? I won't think of it now. What was that long ass war movie growing up? Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Dude.
Guns of Navarone was pretty good too.
To me, I'm going super old, but to me, Wizard of Oz is the oldest of iconic movie that I think was impactful on me growing up. But
what the hell was impactful about that?
I mean, for me, it's the full circleness of it. Like, there's so much more to that movie, I think, than
watching as an adult,
just the entertainment value. But I think there's a lot of good life lessons in there that even as a kid, when you're watching, you absorb, even if it's subconsciously, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because watching it as a kid versus watching it as an adult, because I watched it as a kid and then I watched it as an adult with my kid.
Yeah, you get a totally different thing out of it. But I do think that there's imprintation that takes place even as a child watching it that does happen. But
yeah.
You got anything, Rohan?
No, that's about it.
He reminds me of the Scarecrow. Okay, guys, check us out on Patreon. If y'all want any of those stickers, go on there, put your address, all that shit, and all the other stuff. We got a mic drop in when?
This week. So
on Patreon.
What day? Thursday?
Thursday on Patreon.
Thursday Patreon, the following Friday public.
Yep.
Yeah. We got that coming up. That's a great interview. You guys make sure to check that out. Check us out on all platforms. Make sure to go leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever. We appreciate y'all. Peace, bitches.